get into today? I would assume it is nothing because Trump supporters are, well, you say pussies? Like, it's so weird that anybody can claim that they are a supporter of something that they won't talk about. They won't stand up for nothing. They just, I'm a Trump supporter. I just don't like actually talk about it. I don't, you know. It's strange. Okay, let's go check this garage. Oh. It's fun. These guys are buying wood. Broken rake. Your books are getting wet. Do you want to put them in the thing or just leave them there?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, my wife should be here. She would be you. She'd buy all this stuff. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Oh my, we can do this and this and this and this and this and that. It's really sad because her whole budget is $150 for 180 people
For a
for
year.
the month.
Oh, for a month, okay.
It's not even $10. So her and I spend a garage sale vehemently.
You might as well be a school teacher. We used to do that all the time.
Thank you.
How much for the clown painting?
That was for the bucket.
I think he has
Okay.
35 on
For
it.
my bucket.
Sure, though. Take a look.
There's no sticker.
Okay, I have been online, I really don't even know what to charge, because it's a limited edition type thing.
What do you want for it?
I have no idea, you make me an offer, and if I think, I mean, I don't want $10, because it's,
I'll do 30.
David, gentleman said he'd give us $30 for that.
Sounds good to me.
Okay,
All right, let's roll.
okay, I'll get you back.
That's all right. Well,
I don't want it to get wet.
yeah, I don't either. So.
I don't even know who Red Skeleton is, you're too young.
I'm older than. Come on, look at all this. I know who.
Yeah, but you can do that on purpose.
Why would anybody want to do this on
To
purpose?
be distinguished.
No, I'm good with.
My brother passed away a year ago, and he loved Red Skeleton.
Yeah,
Thought
well.
he was one of the coolest.
He was interesting. I mean, he's a pioneer, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
Enjoy it.
I need to change here. You don't have any baseball cards or anything like that, do you?
My brother would, but you.
Good luck getting them, huh?
Here you go, buddy.
Thank you, appreciate
Get
it.
everybody.
Well, you should tell him he should call me.
All right, well.
Have a great day. Good luck to you.
She's 20 at my boss. And
Holy shit. I just bought a Red Skeleton painting for $30. What? What just happened? What just happened? Holy shit. Let me just get out of here. Somebody comes running out. Like, sir, no, wait a minute. Because that's fucking stupid. Nobody should be selling a Red Skeleton painting for fucking a numbered Red Skeleton painting for $30. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. Oh my god. Wow. I don't know much about fine art. I know a little bit because there was a time there where before I got into baseball cards, where I was watching, what's it called? Antiques Roadshow. And decided that paintings were a good way to go. So I was buying paintings at garage sales. A Red Skeleton painting that's fucking numbered You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Holy shit. Oh my god. I can't believe this shit. I am shocked. He had it for 35. Okay, well, I'll give you 30. Okay. Okay, cool. Oh, I could turn around and sell this for a lot more money. Jesus Christ. It's so hard to find the fucking baseball cards and shit because everybody knows now. It used to be so nice. I personally, I hate the boom that happened. I hate that everybody figured out how great baseball cards were. It ruined it for me. I really liked buying them for much cheaper than I should. Moms selling collections because they just want the room in their house and blah blah blah. It used to work out really, really well. But hey, I just bought a Red Skelton painting for $35. What? All of you who don't know, go look it up. Take a second. Go look up Red Skelton painting. Hand signed, hand numbered, hand painted Red Skelton painting. Will you tell me what you think? Did I get ripped off? I don't think so. Holy shit. That's why you gotta go to garage sales in rich neighborhoods. That was in a rich neighborhood. Rich people just don't have any sort of concept of value. It's so weird. It's like, how did you get to be rich if you're so stupid? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, there's a garage sale sign. Let's go check that out. Maybe we're... Oh, it's an open house. Nobody gives a shit about an open house. This dude, I swear to God, I drive by this place all the time. And this dude is always standing out here. Like, this is his, like, project. He just loves it. He's always out there, like, just hanging out, planting shit, picking up shit. Like, that's his little, this is my neighborhood, so I'm gonna take it upon myself to make the sign look nice. Strange, man. That's the type of guy. So when I say, like, if you took away, if you made it, if you made it so it wasn't mandatory that people had to work, eliminated most of the jobs that, you know, machines could do, you have them doing those jobs. And then you have the few jobs left that are done by machines. Guys like him would do it. They would work because that's what they want to do. That guy's probably retired. So, what's up, Marissa? So good to see somebody that actually speaks on here. Yes, if you're watching, please spread this video. I can't say the other S word because it seems to tank my feed. But spread the video on Facebook. Don't forget to give me a like. All that good stuff that I hate begging for, but if you don't ask, people seemingly forget to. We have 5 people here. So the thing is, we have 5 people here. So law of averages says that at least 2 of you should be Trump supporters. Why are you Trump supporters or Israel supporters so, like, pussy about why aren't you proud of what you believe? Why aren't you proud to say, yeah, I'm a Trump supporter, he's so smart? Oh. And the crazy part is, like, so much, I hate talking about it in a lot of ways, because I feel like the Trump, Biden thing, that's a huge distraction. It's a huge nonsensical bullshit distraction to keep us from looking at Israel. It's about keeping us from looking at Israel and the Jews. If you think I'm wrong, or you think I'm being, narrow-minded, whatever, by all means, explain it to me. Anyone under 60. My motto, anyone under 60 for 2024, is that what that's supposed to say? I don't know. Can you imagine if the system didn't have Joe Biden is old to focus on? Literally, what would they be talking about? They, as far as anything good goes, they couldn't be talking about anything good Trump-wise. He got destroyed. He got destroyed by an old man who was stumbling and stammering over his shit. And yet, the old man made exponentially more sense than Trump did. It was like, I don't get it. I would love to know what you dumpster trumpets, you Trumpansies, are hanging on to. I seriously, I mean, it's like, this shouldn't be such a hard thing to find, such a hard question to ask. I should be able to be like, hey, what do Trump supporters hold on to? And they should be like, oh man, he's so good about this and he's so good about that and blah, blah, blah. But they can't. They don't. You talk to Trump supporters and they're just like, the only thing they can do is talk shit about Biden. Which is all Trump did. But it's like, yeah, no, I get it. You don't like Trump. I understand that. Or you don't like Biden. I understand that. But I'm asking you why you like Trump so much. That's the thing. I can't even find a single person to answer that question. Like even a little bit. The Trump supporters generally, if you have on so much cologne that I can smell it driving, I don't even know where the person that has it on is, but I'm driving and I can smell your cologne, you have on too much cologne. That's pretty simple. But where are the Trump people? What do you have? Like, what part of what the Trump presentation seems like a good one to you? I literally, I can't. It's so irritating. It's so stupid. Like, it's just weird. Like, again, I mean, the thing is, I hate Biden, no doubt. One question, bro. Okay, bro. Ask away, bro. Robot. Brolock. My brolish friend. My bro-bahim. I hate them all. Exactly. This is the thing, this is the typical Trump supporter. This is how they do it. So you go, man, what the fuck is Trump doing? Why do you support Trump? Like, where's what? And they go, oh, so you're a Biden supporter? No, I hate them all. I think it's all a big fucking ruse that we are, that we're being fooled by. I want to know what you're being fooled by. What part of the Trump presentation makes sense to you? And it's something. You're pro-Proud Boys. What does that even mean? Like, again, why is this so difficult? I believe it's so difficult because the only people dumber than Trump are Trump supporters. But you're not going to say that that's the case. So, like, again, asking the question, pro Proud Boys, what does that mean? I think a lot of people don't even know what the fuck the Proud Boys stand for. It's one of those sort of goofy things. Anomaly calls Tusk professional Trump of riders. I don't know what you're driving. I'm not an Anomaly fan. Anybody that Facebook allows to have 2 million followers, anybody that is a Fox News correspondent is probably working on. Anomaly calls them professional Trump dick riders. Yeah, but that doesn't even mean anything. Like they are dick riders and everything, but it's like, but why? What is the reason you ride this man's dick so much? He's horrible. Like, if I was a Trump supporter, I would be embarrassed by the narrative that's presented. I would be embarrassed by the debate that, I mean, it can't even be called a debate. It was a debacle. It was a fucking downright catastrophe. But it was dumb as hell. I appreciate some of his work, but he's a Bible thumper. Exactly. So why do you... I'm so glad you brought that up. So I didn't know that. So somebody sent me a video one day saying, "What? You too?" What do you think of Adam Green? Adam Green sounds like a Jew. So if he's not a Jew, then we can start the conversation. But if he's a Jew, I want nothing to do with him. But that, you know, that's the thing with Anomaly. So somebody sent me this message one time, and it was a link to Anomaly, one of Anomaly's things, and they said it looks like he's been watching you, like Anomaly had been watching me. Because his video was about, it was about not just, I mean, it was about the 1976 swine flu vaccination program, and how they fucking lied to us and tricked 46 million Americans into getting inoculated, and whatever else came from that. He stated, guys. And so why aren't you playing? Me? Yeah. Playing game? Playing with Rose or whatever. Hang on, buddy. Oh.
So, are we picking Nick up later then?
Yeah. Yeah, I said we'll pick Nick up. I gotta see Gary anyway, so come pick Nick up when Gary gets home.
Is her eye still all blood?
It's not as bad.
Good.
Looks like it's getting better. All right, I'm gonna go up front. So I get this message saying, you know, check this guy out. So I go and I look, and I see that he has, I just click on the video and I see that the video has like 500,000 views, you know, thousands of shares, this, that, and the other. So I go, okay, so this guy is trying to debunk the COVID shit, and he's allowed to have 500,000 videos or views. I wonder why. I wonder why he's not being censored like I would be. And then I thought, I bet it's because he's a Bible thumper. And so I went to the page instead of just the video,
And at the time, it was like his top viewed video, the one that was at the top of the page for some reason, I don't know. But his top viewed video was why I believe in Jesus, or why I believe in God. And it was this 3-minute diatribe about, you know, he used to be an atheist, but he saw sunsets and he saw the beauty of like a shell or some stupid nonsense, and was like, and so I couldn't deny it anymore. And it was like, that's not, you're not giving a reason. How do you go from being an atheist to a Christian church believer? Like, it just, you have to have something significant to make that change. So it was bullshit, but it answered my question as to why he's allowed to have such a following. And somebody like Anomaly would never engage someone like me. Never. But Anomaly looks like a Jew, and he's a Bible thumper, so that explains it a lot to me. Okay, so let's see. No more news. He exposes both sides of Christianity and Judaism. There's nothing wrong with people people truly having faith in things they believe, but the problem is when it gets brought into politics and anyone that doesn't believe the same as less. Why they're so hypocritical. I mean, no, there is a problem. There's absolutely a problem with people believing that God gives them... Okay, so the foundation of religion, especially here in the States, the reason why everyone is Christian is if it weren't for that faith, that Christian faith that says Jews are God's chosen people, then Israel wouldn't be allowed to exist. Religion is a control mechanism to keep the stupid, believing that as long as they follow the rules while they're alive, then they go to hell, or they go to heaven when they die. That's when the real party starts, the after party. And it's that, there's absolutely something wrong with religion. Absolutely. We have to stop saying it's okay that people believe blah, blah. I mean, you know, is it okay that somebody goes and suicide bombs you? Is it okay that the Jews are committing genocide because they believe they're fucking chosen by God so they can do whatever they want? No. Yep, he has made God bless gear you can purchase made in the U.S. though. He shares Candace Owens and Tucker like they're not controlled op. I'm agnostic. Period. Yeah, I'm a Gaianist. I'm a Gaianist. I believe in Gaianism. Or a Guialist, whichever one you want to say it. But I really, I mean, it's all bullshit. It really is all bullshit. And I'm someone that, like, you know, I just need proof. You want me to believe what you want me to believe, then show me some proof. And then, you know, we'll talk from there. But everything requires faith. And really, everything is about keeping the Goyim focused on the past. As long as we're focused on the past, whether it's religion, whether it's history, Tartaria, you know, whatever, slavery, all kinds of bullshit. It's about a past we can't prove and we can't change. So instead of focusing on the past like they want us to, we should be focusing on what's happening right now. And that's the thing, is if everybody was just focused on right now, they would understand that there is a fucking genocide taking place. I'm not about free Palestine. I'm not a Palestinian supporter. I think Palestine is fucking nuts with their Christian and Muslim controls and blah, blah, blah. I think that's all nuts. Free Palestine is the politically, socially correct way of saying fuck Israel. And that's what I'm saying. End Israel. End these Jews. These Jews are fucking crazy. They're crazy. And it's you know, your whole life you've been told you're not allowed to say it. Everybody knows that Jews control the media. Everybody knows that Jews control Hollywood, control the government, all that shit. But then when it comes to assigning responsibility, accountability, let's actually make this real and talk about what's really going on, suddenly everybody's too scared to say anything. Oh, no, you're not allowed to say that. Oh, no, you can't just say all the Jews are this way, yada, yada. Yeah. Look at what Michael, did you guys see the video Michael Rappaport recently put out? He's in Israel in like an Israeli penthouse, and he says, he's singing this song, if you hate Jews then you know it's a Zionist. If you hate Jews then you know it's a Zionist. If you hate Jews then you know it, but you're too afraid to show it. If you hate Jews then you know it's a Zionist. And it's like, the only reason people are afraid is not because they're afraid of Jews. They're afraid of the repercussions, because it's the one group that we're not allowed to talk about. We could sit here and bash Muslims all day. We could sit here and bash Christians all day. We could talk about anything we want. We could talk about Jesuits. Lots of people like to think it's the Jesuits. We could talk about Jesuits. We could talk about flat earth. We could talk about Tartaria. We could talk about all those things all day long. How bad the issue, the relations between black and white people are, and the racism. We could talk about all that shit all day. It's only when you start talking about Jews that everything gets shut down. My Facebook page, I'm on my, I'm in the middle of a 50, 60 some day block. How many people get 60-day blocks? And don't you think if you did a 60-day block, you would have had to, done something for real, encourage some violence or some shit like that? Not me. Not me. I'm just asking questions that people don't like asked. I'm just pointing out hypocrisy that people don't like pointed out. And I'm proud. I am 100% proud of my anti-Semitism. And for those of you who don't know, what words mean, I suggest you really look. I'm up to a 30-day ban. Must be doing something right. For those of you who don't know what words mean, because you're not encouraged. No one encourages you to look up what it means. Nobody ever bothers to ask, like, why I got kicked off during COVID. Oh, yeah. That, again, another one of those things that, like, I'm not supposed to ask questions about what you want me to do, about putting, getting random shots and all, especially when I know about the 1976 swine flu vaccination program, the lie that got the vaccination program that started the SIDS outbreak that turned into what people are foolishly calling autism nowadays. It's not autism, it's SOBA. It's symptoms of biological attack. It's not autism. Autism is something people are born with. But I digress. Semitism, according to their definition, means a predisposition or policy towards showing Jews favor. It's supremacy. It's a nice way of saying supremacy. Why would Jews get favor from anyone? What did they do to earn favor over everyone else? Nothing. So by definition, anti-Semitism is anti-Jew favoritism. That's what it was created for. In the 1880s, in Germany, when things were very similar to how they are now, and the people got sick of the Jews controlling them, anti-Semitism was a movement. And it was literally geared towards stopping the disproportionate control that Jews have over the rest of us. Guys, if you're watching, like the video, share the video. Come on, what are you doing? But the Semitism, the favoritism that they demand, they command. Why do you think you always hear that? Why do you think you don't hear anti-Jewish? You hear anti-Semitism all the time. It's because they don't care if you like their religion. They don't care if you support Judaism. They don't care. They don't care if you believe it or not. You're a dumb goyim. What do they care what you think? The only thing they care about is that you accept the idea that they deserve favoritism. And favoritism, favor, means you don't talk about what they do. You shut the fuck up and you take it. That's what their favoritism is. So when they're saying these students at the again, this is the most insane circumstances, and it's happening right now. It's not something from the past. It's not something in the future. It's literally happening right now. You have the children of the elite, the people with enough money to be able to send their kids to Harvard and Yale and Columbia and all these prestigious universities. You know, my kids aren't going there unless they get some mega scholarship, which I don't even think is offered. They're not going there. So it's the children of the elite, the richest of the rich, have been all across the board, across the fucking United States, in unison, like we've never done for anything else before. We kind of came close with the George Floyd thing, but it still wasn't like it is now. Why do you think they keep talking about, these students are anti-Semitism? Because it's true. It is anti-Semitism. It is these students not showing the favor that the Jews need or require by shutting up. So all these students, they're not saying these students are anti-Jewish. They're saying they're anti-favoritism or they're anti-Semitism. And the funny thing is, again, it's true. It's absolutely true. That's how they've done it. Just like how when they're telling the truth that vaccines don't cause autism, they can tell you that vaccines don't cause autism. It's true. Doesn't mean they're necessarily telling you the whole truth, but they're telling you the truth. And you're seeing all these students, you're hearing these reports. I saw this thing through my fucking Instagram, of course. This page saying, assaulting Jews is not a form of protest or something like that. And I'm still waiting for that video, that story, because trust me, if a group of non-Jews cornered and assaulted a Jew, that would be the only story being talked about. The only story. There would be incredible investigations, tons of money, time, police force, all this shit would be spent on outing, prosecuting, punishing these Gentiles, these goyim that assaulted this Jew. It hasn't happened yet. It doesn't happen. It's just part of their bullshit lie. And that's what they do. And the thing is, they've got you convinced that they don't lie. That's all Jews do. They just lie and lie and lie. The whole narrative on October 7th that there are hostages or that Jews were killed, around about 1,200 people in Israel were killed on October 7th. I mean, that statement is true. The inference that it was Jews that were killed is not. They bragged about the fact that they killed 1,500 Hamas in Israel within, minutes, hours of the initial attack. So now when they report that around 1,200 people in Israel were killed, they're telling the truth. They're just lying and controlling your perception. That's why they never say around 1,200 Israelis were killed. They don't say that. It's always people in Israel. Go look. Go prove me wrong. People in Israel killed. And there's no funerals. There was no 1,200 funerals. There was nothing. It was all lies. And then the idea that 253 were taken hostage, it's lies. It's lies. If Israel was ready to do the October 7th response back in, June or whatever, when the dumb, drunk Israeli Jew kid was driving around in his car, yelling at people, running people off the road, doing all kinds of shit, and his dumb drunk ass crashed and died in the crash, and his body was taken to the local Palestinian hospital to try to save him, but he died. And in response, Netanyahu was ready to bring the full Israeli military into the Gaza Strip to retrieve this dead body. If they were willing to do that for a dead body, why does Netanyahu and company keep acting like, the hostages, that's okay? They're bombing like they know where the hostages are. How do you bomb an entire area knowing that there's a possibility that hostages might be there? Just answer these simple questions. All of you Israel supporters, I'd love to hear from you. All of you Trump supporters, I'd love to hear from you. I'm sitting here not giving you, man, their noses and their stupid faces and I never do that shit. I'm talking about actual factual shit that you can look up for yourself. Unless it's been scrubbed. There's a good chance it's been scrubbed. But we're talking about straight up insanity. Insanity. And and you're not supposed to believe it. You're not supposed to question it. You're just supposed to believe it, and you're not supposed to question it. You're just supposed to do as you're told. You dumb goyim, you dumb slave. I don't think he wants to play with you. You can go check, but I don't think he wants to play with you. How interesting. I'm only like Trump because of economic policies, but I don't like either presidential choice. I appreciate you saying that, John, but that's not true. What economic policies are you talking about? I watched the debate. Trump didn't give a single policy, nothing. He literally didn't say anything that warrants any support. So I keep wondering, I appreciate you saying what you said, but I'm just wondering what you're talking about. What economic policies did he say that I missed? I don't like either candidate. No, I get you. They suck. They're horrible. Imagine if Trump had to go against somebody that was young, that didn't stumble and stammer, because that's literally the only negative that people are focusing in on, and they just keep saying it like he needs to be replaced and all these things, blah, blah, blah. It's so stupid. But if they didn't have that, then what would they focus on? What did Biden do except say, No, he said plenty of things. Biden said he was going to tax the rich to fix the healthcare system that's exponentially broken. He was talking about all the Trump tax credits. He was talking about the difference between the two is Trump would go on these rants about all this bullshit. And then Biden would say, okay, first of all, there's this. Secondly, there's this. Third, there's this. But see, you're a Trump supporter, Jay Quick. Instead of answering my questions, you immediately go, well, what did Biden do? Well, what did Biden do? Well, what did Biden do? I wish I had the transcripts of the whole thing, because Biden was at least answering questions. A question would be answered, what is your plan for this? And then he would answer said question. Every single thing that was brought up, Trump would go, wait, I just want to go back to, I want to get the last word on this thing. I seriously, I don't understand why the idea that Trump is gay isn't a more popular thing. He looks like an old meth hag, an old gay meth hag. The way that he moves his mouth all the time, but he's always like, he looks like somebody that's trying to hide his gay mannerisms, but they still come out. But see, this is what the average trumpet does, is you ask them a direct question, give me something, give me some sort of thing that Trump did that makes you support him, and immediately it's, they like, again, why won't you say why you support the guy? I'm not a Biden supporter. When I watched the debate from a completely objective point of view, I hate them both almost equally. I mean, I guess I kind of hate Trump a little bit more because Trump's the racist. You know, all the Biden is a racist stuff is manufactured bullshit. But I'm watching both to pick both apart. And basically all I could come up with Biden was he's old and he stumbled and stammered a little bit. First debate, the nerves of being in front of 50 million people and knowing that you got to go against Trump's dumb ass, like all that shit. That's going to play into, how you are, especially at first. And what you saw was Biden started off kind of slow and rough, but then, everything got moving and kicking and he finished well. Trump started better than he finished. Like, it wasn't well. He didn't start well, but he got worse as he went on. But seriously, give me some economic policy that Trump is running on. I just have no idea. At the end of the thing, when they have to give their final statements, Biden was like, I plan on doing this, and I'm going to do this, and we've got good plans in the works, and we've got this, and we've got that. Trump just went right, we got the worst borders in the history of the world. We've got the worst borders. We're a laughing stock around the world. Everybody thinks we're big wusses, and they think we're just a bunch of stupid people. Like, these are all the things that Trump said. Biden absolutely should be getting all sorts of praise, especially from the dumpster trumpets, when he said, why is this guy trashing our country so bad? We're the worst this, we're the worst that. What are you talking about? Trump claiming that hundreds of thousands of people have been raped and murdered and robbed since Biden, relaxed the border policy. We had the best border, and now we have the worst. It's the worst border in the history of the world. Like, it's just stupid. It's if you believe hundreds of thousands of people, people coming from the insane asylums, from the mental homes, same thing. Like, the shit that Trump was saying was just, if he weren't running for president, laughing. But he's just dumb. I mean, it's flat out stupid. He was asked 3 times. They had the one set where they asked, what are your plans for the opiate epidemic and what are you gonna do about that? And Biden answered the question. We're gonna put more money into drug programs. We have to blah 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 blah. Right? Refused question 3 times. It was asked to him 3 separate times. And he just kept, wait, I just want to go back. It was so fucking weird. For the Trump is 100% a female, honey. I'm a 5-year transvestigator. I absolutely do not fall for the bigotry that is disguised as some truth or thing. Concept that they have somehow all of the Hollywood men are actually females and all of the females are actually men, and I just talk about a distraction. Talk about something stupid that ends up creating, really unnecessary division, because the idea that if straight and gay people, trans people were actually working together, that's a huge unifier in our population. And once we're not distracted, why do you think Pride Month is in June? Do you know what's the month before? Passover. You know what happens every Passover? The Jews go on these murder sprees and kill lots and lots of Palestinians, violating all sorts of laws and treaties and all that shit. So then Pride Month comes around and everybody's back to being distracted by that same picture of that transgender reading a book to children in a classroom. Most of the people that have the problem with the trans, especially when they do, I'm just trying to protect the children. I'm just trying to, they have no idea what they're they don't even have kids. They don't even have kids. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's amazing to see what the kids, my kids and their generation is going to be, because they totally accept people. They totally accept trans, they totally accept gay. They don't give a shit about that. It's the same thing. It's like, why do you think you have been told we have been told that Gen Z, the next generation, is the worst, laziest, most piece of shit generation that's ever existed. Yet they're the first ones to stand up to Israel. What do you think's going to happen these next few generations when you have all these people in the universities right now who are set to be the leaders of tomorrow, and they're all protesting against Israel? What do you think's happening? They're terrified. And this notion that like, if you're dumb enough to think that a transgender person reading a book to kids is going to make kids transgender, then why don't we just have doctors read books to children all the time? Because if a doctor reads it, then they'll just become a doctor, right? Like the way that they have you distracted over people that want to just live their lives. Most of those people want to live their lives left alone. I think anybody that violates a child, I think rape in general, if you can be proven that you violently raped somebody was telling you no, or you tricked a kid into it, or you fucked somebody that was passed out that didn't want you to, blah, 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 all that shit. To me, rape is rape. Child rape, adult rape. The only difference is the adults have a concept of what's going on. Kids don't know what the fuck's going on. They have no frame of reference. So it's much worse for them in that regard. And they're smaller, so it probably hurts a lot more. But, if you're guilty of rape of any sort like that, I think we should execute you. I'm not talking about, statutory rape because some fucking parents want to blame the dude for their daughter being a slut. And again, I don't think anybody is a slut per se is a bad thing. I think, I don't think men are heroes and women are sluts. I don't think of it that way. But if your daughter is out fucking a bunch of people, it's not those people's fault. They are, and we teach people how they can tell. They are, and we teach people how they can tell. I don't know what you're talking about there. You think you could teach people how to tell that the men in Hollywood used to be women and the women used to be men? My wife has an Adam's apple. I've literally seen her give birth to 2 children, and I've messed with her vagina a whole bunch. But that notion that, well, if they have an Adam's apple, they must be... It's not true. Lots of women have Adam's apples. But again, if you can show me the transgender pedophile ring or the gay pedophile ring that it operated basically out in the open for any period of time, and then they got caught enough here, they got shipped to a special country that was created that has no extraditions, and it's all about that, and they could just go there and live their life once they get caught enough here. If you can show me how that works with transgenders or gays, I'm listening. But when it comes to protecting our children, I am much more terrified of what straight white men, especially those straight white men that go into the church. If you knowingly go into your life's work and you know that one of the stipulations is you don't get to bang chicks or dudes, whatever, if that's your thing, that you don't get to have sex, and you still choose to do that, there's something wrong with you. There is something wrong with you. Have you had sex before? It's awesome. If you're choosing not to do it because of somebody else's beliefs, some shit that we don't even know like what it really is, there's something wrong with you. But to me, I think the church was created by and for pedophiles. When you look at the rules and shit like that, I mean, you're literally asking for, like, you're offering a pedophile his you know, his wettest dream. So wait. I can walk around in goofy dresses all day. I don't have to pay any bills. All my bills are paid. And people will come bring me their children so I can take them in dark rooms and take them on camping trips and shit like that. Like, that sounds like a pedophile wet dream. But that's, you know, that's the distraction. People are so distracted by gays and trans, and yet I don't see those same people out protesting little girl beauty pageants. You ever see that? You ever see anybody out there protesting little girl beauty pageants? Or Pee-wee football? All the people that care about the kids so much, are you out there protecting the kids against Pee-wee football? Are you out there protesting against Pee-wee football? And all the brain damage that gets caused? No. No, they've tricked you into being a bigot and then having that, you know, into justifying your bigotry. Like this whole Obama, the Michelle Obama is a man. It's funny how the black female, the black first lady, the first and only black first lady, she's the one that's the man. Right. Obama, yep, he's the one that's the gay guy, and all because of Joan Rivers. If Joan Rivers hadn't have said that just before she died, well, who knows where that could have been. What? Huh? Well, stop stubbing your toe. You got adults at your house, go have them fix it. It's one thing when there's nobody there. It's another thing when you got all your families there. Go have them fix your toe, girly. Yes, ear biometrics, giant necks, clavicles. I have 2 friends with larger throats. I've done this for 5 years. There's gender markers. There's gaits. There's angles. It's just not true. You can't just say because people don't fit a certain narrative that you've decided that must make them something else. But even if it did, what is the purpose? So if all of the men are females and all of the females are men and nobody knows about it, then what's the purpose? What does that do? How does that negatively affect us? You're letting Christian bullshit trick you and you don't even realize. They do it to their children who didn't ask is the point. Again, see Megan Fox, check any celebrities. They blend their child's gender. Okay, again, you clearly don't have kids, Marissa, right? Because you seem to think that children are these, you know, robots that just do what you program them to do. And I can tell you flat out, I have 2 little boys that at no point in their lives could I have tricked them into being anything other than the boys that they are. You know, they ran around hitting stuff with sticks. They were attracted to big trucks and all that boy stuff. They at no point did they ever want to play tea. Did they ever want to play dress up? Did they ever want to do girly stuff? Because they were boys. So thinking that they're doing it to their children, it couldn't possibly be that in the society we live in, Children are much more open and free about it. My kid, when he was younger, my oldest one, used to tell everybody he was gay. And you have to understand this, right? Like, this is the thing where adults always do this and they fuck up. You are putting your adult perception and sensibilities into a situation where that doesn't exist. So when you tell a little boy that gay means somebody who likes other boys, right? It's somebody who likes other boys and doesn't really like girls. Well, guess what? Little boys don't like girls a lot of the time. As a matter of fact, our society used to tell us that that's how it worked. No girls allowed, and Beaver hated the girls and all that stuff. Because when little boys are told that somebody's gay, they don't go, oh, so that guy sticks that other guy's penis in his mouth and in his butt? Oh. They don't think like that. So, you know, we used to tell my kid, you're not gay, but if you are, that's cool. We support you, but you're not. We know how you are. We see how you react. And nowadays, he's all like, don't, just stop. Don't tell people I said that. Like, he knows. But there are plenty of kids that my kids go to school with that are clearly not your stereotypical heterosexual children. And because we live in a more tolerant society, we're seeing more openness at younger and younger ages. Let me ask you this, Marissa. When was the first time you realized you liked big, stiff cocks? How old were you? How old were you when you were like, man, I can't wait to feel that cock inside my vagina? I bet it wasn't at anywhere close to 5. You know, like I was saying, it's funny how the black family is the gay / transgender family. And Michelle Obama is a man and all that. Let me ask you this. If it comes out, and it's actually true, Michelle Obama was a man, transitioned into a woman, and then her and Obama won the presidency and made the country better for 8 years, at least as far as the play goes, as far as the perception goes. What would be the harm? Is Barbara Bush a man or a woman? I couldn't care less. Notice how I said couldn't. People always say I could care less, and that's stupid. If you could care less, then what, you know, then what is it that falls into that category where you could care less about it? If you could care less, maybe you should. It couldn't care less, but I couldn't care less if Barbara Bush was a man. That to me is such a distraction. While there's a genocide happening, and the Jews are murdering people, and you know everything that's associated with them, you're putting energy into a dead Barbara Bush. That doesn't sound like you're being tricked at all, does it? Isn't it funny how everybody is so wrapped up in Epstein? I said from the beginning, why are we hearing about this? If it's anybody else, especially if it's somebody like Epstein that nobody even knows about, if they get in trouble for something, we don't hear about it. But especially if it's a super powerful Jew, we usually don't hear about it. So why were we hearing about Epstein? And then the whole Epstein dead thing, blah, blah, blah. And now people talk, where are all the other victims of Epstein? One girl got 16 million pounds out of the deal. You telling me nobody else wants any of that money? I couldn't even tell you. There's supposedly hundreds and hundreds of victims. Where are they? Not one of them's, you know, coming out and talking about it. But they have us focused. It's like how Kanye West, both Kanye West and Cat Williams are doing their jobs. Kanye West was to distract us from the fact that the Jews were putting Netanyahu and the most racist supremacist coalition ever put together into power. setting up for the genocide that's happening right now. And when it was Cat Williams became like an everyday topic again. The scattered group of papers that was given to people, that wasn't a list of names, it was a whole bunch of shit. But when they put that whole bunch of shit out, people started going, hey, this is a whole bunch of shit. What the fuck? Needed something to distract everybody. So lo and behold, Cat Williams up. And just like Kanye West, Cat Williams did everything he could to put the attention on black people. And Epstein's dead, Weinstein's in jail. Getting out though, got his shit overturned by a Jew judge. A non-Jew judge found him guilty, sentenced him to 20 years, blah, 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 blah. You're not supposed to use the phone, so no. Check this out. I stopped at a garage sale on the way home. You won't believe it. A real one. Signed and numbered, yes. 35 bucks. Oh no, 30 bucks. Sorry, 30 bucks. How do you sell a real red skeleton? Because you're an idiot in Livonia. It's real, sweetheart. You know, it's all really obvious. This whole thing is really obvious. That's why you're not even allowed to talk about it. There is a Jewish conspiracy, and it's very, very obvious. And they can't deny it. They can't, they can't obfuscate us enough. So instead, they just tell us that you're not supposed to talk about it. Marissa, we're on the same page, and I know people always get frustrated with me because I don't buy the narrative that we're allowed to think, that we're encouraged and pushed into thinking. The transgender agenda is something that they've pushed on us. And again, it coincides with Pride Month and Passover and all. These are all things that if you're willing to, and you're willing to go back and look at what's happened over the last year or two, and you can see how the setup works, you'll see it. If you have a 30-second attention span and you have bigotry and you want to feel this way about certain things, well, then you're gonna feel how you want to feel. You're gonna believe what you want to believe. I just encourage people to ask yourself, why do you think what you think? Is it because you think so, or because somebody else has some sort of agenda, they get some sort of benefit from you thinking the way you do? Most of you think the way you do because of your parents. Because of your racist, bigoted parents who were taught to be racist bigots. I mean, I'm fascinated with old TV shows. And I'm not necessarily, go back and watch The Honeymooners. It's, even though the woman gets all of the best rips, she's still, put in her place and all that shit throughout the whole show. But even shows that were supposed to be like women power shows, like Mary Tyler Moore, they push the same fucking stereotypes. There was one episode of Mary where some guy, that whole narrative that if a girl doesn't like you, you just need to be super, super persistent and just bug her and you'll eventually wear her down and you'll be able to get whatever girls you want even if you look like a troll Jew, you'll still get whatever girl you want if you're just persistent enough. You know, go watch Beaver. Go watch all of the shows that your family grew up watching. Go watch Good Times. It sickens me that Good Times is so fondly thought of by white people. Or, I mean, by black people. Some Jew is like, hey, let's make a funny show about black people living in the projects. Haha. and every time they think they're going to get out, something happens. Or anytime they think their life's going to get better, something happens. But hey, because they're black and they know that's their place, they're okay with it. Let's make that show. Oh, you know what? Let's make a show about some rich black guys, right? We'll make it Moving On Up. And he'll still be a complete ass. And you know who will get to play the guy? A little gay guy. A little bitty light-skinned gay guy will be the ultra macho super man. And I say something, you listen to me, woman. That kind of shit. That's all Jews. All Jews. The idea that Norman Lear is thought of as this genius, this dude, go watch. It's amazing to me that All in the Family is so highly regarded. And then second is Archie Bunker's Place. You want to talk about a show that glorifies every ism possible and just paints white people as being, you know, ignorant, but it's okay. Like, there was this one episode of Archie Bunker's Place. So Archie ends up getting this girlfriend, and he's with her for a while, and he doesn't realize it, but she's actually Puerto Rican. So one day the relationship's going well, and the girlfriend wants Archie to meet her family. And so I don't remember how it came about, but he finds out that she's actually Puerto Rican, and he's like, what? Oh, I don't know about this. But she's like, well, my brother's coming here. You'll meet my brother first, and then, you know, oh no, I know what it was. She said her brother was coming. He didn't know he was Puerto Rican. So her brother comes, and Archie, because he's Puerto Rican, treats him like shit. Doesn't know it's her brother, and he's waiting on her brother, but you know, he doesn't. You know, those shows how comedies always work out, and it's like these stupid ways where if people just talked, then the whole thing wouldn't work out. But because it's a TV show or it's a movie, it's got to work out that way. And so Archie ends up going. You know, the brother's pissed off, and the sister, Archie's girl, is like, please just give him one more chance. Blah blah blah. So Archie comes to dinner at the house, and like I guess they're wealthy, and Archie's just a complete and total piece of shit white guy. Just the things he's saying are just, you know, it's like when white guys see a black guy and they want to do some kind of goofy handshake because they're like, yeah, I'm down, brother. Look, I know I can do handshakes, and you're like, dude, just shake my fucking hand, you goofus. But by the end of it, Archie's feelings get hurt because they call him out on being the bigot idiot that he is. And he leaves, and he's, well, you know, you didn't have to hurt my feelings. And he leaves, and she ends up apologizing to him. The resolution of the show is that she's apologizing, and that, you know, I would wager you are a simp, says somebody named Seth. I would wager you call people words that you heard somebody call you and it hurt your feelings. So now you say it to other people. Right, snowflake? Right, simp? Like, what kind of this guy, he's so affected by what I'm saying that he has to say something, but because he can't actually debunk or even debate anything I have to say, he just ends up saying something stupid. And this is so typical. I can't imagine being that dumb. I can't imagine being that dumb. I gotta say something. Oh, I'm gonna type this. Let me reread it, make sure everything's spelled right. Okay, enter. Like, who the fuck? Really? Really, dude? So go ahead and tell me why you support Trump and why you believe in Jesus and why the earth is round and why the Jews aren't, there's no Jew conspiracy and why history is what they tell us and Tartaria is not. Go on, tell me. I know you believe all those things, right? I have a tour now. I'll be right back. Okay. You know, I mean, it's the same fucking nonsense over and over again. Why do people insist on putting themselves in a conversation they're not capable of having? They're not prepared for. It's okay that you don't know everything, but the thing is, you're so arrogant you think you do. I don't sit here and talk about how I could beat anybody in basketball or, you know, I'm a fucking math genius. I'll beat you in a math competition or something like that. I don't do that. I'm not arrogant like that. I'm confident because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I've actually not just watched a video on YouTube, watched somebody else say it. I looked up what I'm supposed to know. I read the official this, that, and the other. And it's all bullshit. You've accepted bullshit as being reality. Like, think about this. This is one of my favorite bunches of bullshit, right? So all of you that live on a round earth flying through space, you believe that all of the matter in the universe at one point, you have to believe this now. Don't be all stupid. All of the matter in the universe was like everything you can see, all of the planets, all the unknown universe, as big as it's supposedly so much bigger than we can fucking fathom, and it's just a universe. All of the matter was condensed down into something smaller than a match head. Now, it's the same thing that you get, the same question arises with religion that you're not going to be allowed to get an answer to. But was the match head, was it inside of a big empty space? Or did the match head somehow create the space? Like it had to be in something, right? It couldn't just be there was nothing and then it exploded. But same thing with God. Well, what created God? There was always God. There was no before God. That doesn't make sense. Was there a big empty warehouse and God just blink blink appeared and then started making shit? But who made the warehouse? Like, we could go forever on this stupidity that is the fucking, that tears apart both of those arguments, but neither, you won't. But anyway, all of the matter was condensed into a match head that was, because of gravity, was collapsing in on itself. I have this quote that the more you know, the dumber you are. Because I know what I'm supposed to know here, and it's all really fucking dumb, right? But all of the matter was condensed into the match head. It was collapsing in on itself so hard that it exploded. Because when things collapse on themselves, they explode. But it exploded, and it as it exploded, all of the debris, it went in every direction. And all of the debris, I guess it just kept spewing out debris, dust, and schmutz of some sort. And as the shit's going in all these different directions, somehow gravity pockets start to exist. And with those gravity pockets, it starts swirling and swirling and swirling all the dust and the debris that's caught in this gravity pocket. And it swirls it down and compresses it. Now, it's not going to compress it down into a match head. It's going to compress it into a big, large thing that then lights itself on fire and burns perpetually for all of till it burns out. And when it does burn out, it gets bigger, and then it gets smaller, and then it burns out. But all that takes millions and millions of years. So after it lights itself on fire, now around it, in concentric rings that go on a flat plane out from the center, I guess, more little gravity pockets sort of appear, and they start swirling and swirling and swirling, and they create planets. But the difference is, instead of lighting themselves on fire, the core of the planet somehow lights itself on fire, and then rock forms around it. And then in our case, we got water, and then cells turned into amoebas, turned into fish, turned into walking fish that turned into monkeys and turned into people. You literally believe that. Or you have to believe that. And that makes sense to you. And we, the people that have been able to supposedly fly to the moon since 1969, so that's roughly 60 years, 50 years, 55 years, something like that. We figured all that out. We know that, yeah. We know that nebula clouds swirl into planets and stars and all that. We know that because we've observed it somehow. All you dumbasses that fall for the telescope, thinking your telescope allows you to see a giggity billion miles away. Your telescope takes your view from here to here. It gets rid of all this shit around you, all this distraction and all this, and it just enlarges the image, a small portion of the image. So before, when you can't really count my freckles, well, now you can. That's all it is. You're not seeing a giggity billion miles into space, which is why you can take your telescope and turn it like this and see across your street to your neighbor's house, and say you're looking at their address or whatever. You're going to see their address up close. You're not going to see the molecules of paint, all the different layers of paint, the different colors that go into making the paint. You're not going to see all that because you're not seeing a giggity billion miles with your telescope. How come Trump won? Trump never won. I love how stupid people say stupid things. Trump never won anything. Trump lost the first election by 2.7 million votes. And the swamp that he was supposed to drain put him in. While Hillary Clinton, who would go down in history as the first woman president, blah, 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 all this historical thing, she was like, all right, see ya. You know how Trump didn't win in 2020 and made a big deal about it? Hillary actually won and didn't make any deal about it. How stupid is that? What are you doing, dumb girl?
Hey, I'm not dumb.
Oh, you are.
No, I'm not.
Girls are.
Hey.
So whatever reason you found to use the phone, you shouldn't be.
I was checking the time and it was...
Oh, you were checking the time and it just happened to open up to YouTube, and then you happened to go to this, and it just from checking the time, huh?
Yeah.
Leave the phone alone. Oh, I got a mean old text yesterday about my kid. Because again, instead of debunking or addressing what I have to say some mean stuff about my kid. Because it somehow makes what I'm saying not true. It's all crazy, man. I challenge anybody to, to debunk anything I'm saying. Anything. I'm so open to all of it. I didn't start off here. I didn't have parents that talked and I heard it, so I got here. This is all through years and years of research. I mean, it's weird to call it that, but that's what it is. Looking into everything I can find. Do you guys know what is undoubtedly one of the top 3 inventions of the 1800s, 1900s? And you guys don't even know what the fuck it is? I highly suggest all of you try to look into the history of the Lino, Linotype, the Linotype machine. And understand that the reason we had newspapers and basically anything in print up until computers redid things, but didn't you ever wonder how the fuck they were able to make newspapers every day back in the day? How do you create something that the, how do you create the template that the ink, that the paper can be, the ink in the paper can be run over to then put the words on? You don't just, nobody's in there just typing everything out and then just retyping it over. And they don't have 100,000 monkeys on typewriters typing out the daily news. That's not how that worked. This machine that was invented in when? Just like everything else, the 1880s. A clockmaker actually invented it. Was this self-contained unit that apparently was a mini foundry, because it would take liquid metal. You would set the what each line of type, linotype, what each line would say. You would set it out, and then this machine would create a metal slug for that individual line. So then you would create all the lines, and then you would have your page of paper, your page of text. And those slugs, after they were used, were then put back into the machine, melted down, and then spit back out. What the fuck? Who the fuck was inventing a self-contained foundry? I mean, think about how much heat, how much energy. You're melting metal down, creating this template, this slug. It cools. You use it and then put it back in the machine for tomorrow's paper. And they'd have multiple. The bigger the paper, the more of these machines they would have. Wouldn't these machines create an insane amount of heat? How come you've never heard of this thing before? This is undoubtedly the reason why we had newspapers since the 1800s. That's the reason why they were able to convey everything we needed to know. Through newspapers, through print media, was through this machine, and nobody's even heard of it. You've never even heard of it. Don't you think that's weird? I put it up there as far as like the phone, the car, the television. These are the most important, but this was in the 1800s. So as far as the 1800s go, this has to be one of the most important inventions of all time, but let alone the 1800s. And yet none of you have even heard of that shit. What does that tell you? Isn't that pointing to something not necessarily being what you think? And this goes into Tartaria, and this goes into the false history that we have, and the obvious history that exists, or the obvious history that's not being honestly addressed by those in charge, that we're being lied to about. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's the Tartaria stuff, or it's the Trump-Biden stuff, or it's the pedophile stuff, or it's the homeless stuff, or it's the vaccines, or it's the chemtrails, or it's the flat earth, or any of that stuff. None of it matters, because we on the bottom, us Goyim, we only know what they want us to know. Every single one of those things I just brought up, by the way, if you're watching, like the video, share it with your friends, come on now. Every single one of those things I brought up, it's a reset, right? Because as soon as you convince the person you're talking to, the people, whatever, convince them that they're spraying in the skies, that chemtrails are a thing, that the earth isn't a round ball flying through space, it's some sort of structure that we live in, whatever it is, vaccines are bad, whatever. The first thing everybody says after they go, okay, I accept the premise that you're talking about, now who is behind it? Who is manufacturing the thing? Who is passing the laws? Who is mandating the mandates? You know, who's doing all of this stuff? Who's behind it? Who's okaying who's okaying the spray? Who came up with the spray? Who's fucking flying the planes? Who's paying for the planes? Who in the government is allowing all these planes to be flown? Who in the government, like every single person I know that I ever talk to, when you talk about pedophiles and you say, well, what should we do with them? Should we put them in jail for a couple of years and segregate them from the rest of the society so they don't get beat up? And you know, should we basically protect these people, or should we kill them? Every single person says we should kill them. So who in our government doesn't agree? The government that's supposed to represent the people, who doesn't represent the people on this one? And it's that who that is the reset to every single one of those. If you can get through to somebody, the next step is the who. So you have to reset, restart over, and just now you're going at this thing, but from a brand new what the fuck perspective. And the thing is, the more you look into all of these different things and the who behind that, you're going to find the Jews. You're going to find Israel. And so why not start with that? Because at the end of the day, the keepers of our perception, the keepers of the information, are those same Jews. So unless we override who controls our perception, who is in control of our history, our narrative, then we're just arguing. We're just distracting each other.
Hey, back up.
Close the door, you dumb kids. What are you doing? Get back in the house. Get in the house. Get in said house.
Dad, did you see my text?
Mm-mm.
My text.
I didn't see it because I'm not looking because I'm busy.
I didn't text anything new. Did you see the old one?
What did you do? You kicked my thing.
The thing.
Where'd it go?
Need this?
No. Here, I got it. Go play, you darn kids.
That's what your house is weird.
It's all about the Jews, man. And if I'm wrong, let's talk about it. Tell me who else it is. Tell me the other people that we're not allowed to talk about. Tell me the other country that gets $3.8 billion a year. You know nobody else does, right? They say Afghanistan gets a little bit more money than Israel each year, but Afghanistan is where the poppy fields are. And, you know, be careful, dude. That shit'll cut the hell out of your fingers. Is that ours? Is that ours? Okay, be careful with it. Like that thing is like a blade, dude. It will cut you so bad. Fucking measuring tape. Metal one. So wait, whose is that? Well, I'm sure they don't want you playing with it and maybe accidentally breaking it. So go ahead and put it up. You know, it's not me. I mean, it's me putting it together, but if you look at Rappaport, if you look at Jerry Seinfeld and John Lovitz, and all of these people who have, you know, either been commissioned to or just have chosen to speak up about this whole Israel situation, they're the ones that make it all about the Jews. They're the ones that can't seem to separate the fact that the kids at the school are protesting the genocide, not just the Jews. They're the ones that say it's about the Jews. So let's go with it. Let's go with what the Jews say, because that's what we're supposed to do anyway, right? They're the ones that tell us how to think. So they're the ones, these stars, these B-list celebrities. Have you ever asked yourself how the fuck Michael Rappaport is famous? Who thinks that guy's a good actor? Who likes looking at that fucking guy? You know, who thinks he sounds smart when he talks? Go look at his address to Columbia or to the people near Columbia, whatever it was, where he was the first one to really, he was first, then Lovitz, then Seinfeld. But Rappaport was the first one to come out talking about, we need to go get our hostages back and like all this crazy shit. How often do you think Israel refers to anything that happens to the United States as ours? We need to help us. I mean, I'm sure the United States is ours when there's talking about divvying things up. But I'm talking about when we need help with something, how often do you think they refer to it as we need help, not the United States needs help? Do you ever ask yourself these questions? Don't you ever ask why Jews are so revered and so important? Why you're not allowed to talk about them? Aren't they just people? Aren't they just people with a belief? So if they have a belief, you know, first of all, why would it matter whether I agreed with it or not? But secondly, you know, why should I agree with it? What's the reason? Yeah.
Oh, it's sweet. Put this in my pocket.
Put it the other way. The smaller it is, the more likely it is to poke through your pants.
Oh, sweet. I still have one left.
Now use that one to light the others. I mean, don't you ever wonder that shit? Why are they off limits? Who decided they're off limits? Like, it's all crazy. And it's all, they're really dumb. Like, they're not very smart. The playbook they go off of was given to them. And maybe it worked for a time, but they're too dumb to adjust the playbook. And they keep trying to go from the same perspective, and it doesn't work. Don't leave that on the ground. Pick that up and go put it in a garbage can. Especially since there's dumb kids with bare feet walking around and they don't need to step on it. But we don't leave garbage laying around. We're not Bella. You leave garbage all over my lawn all the time, Ubba. Put it in the garbage. It's not hot anymore. I promise you it's not hot anymore.
I promise you I'm being smart.
That's impossible.
Every time before this one time, another one.
That's an efficient way of doing things for sure. You should light it in the middle so it burns both ways. Like your mom.
Yeah, light mine in the middle.
No, use hers to do it. It'll be easier. All you got to do is touch the middle to her thing. As always, I just find it so interesting that someone who's wrong, like me, I'm supposed to be the one that's wrong, is always the one that's willing to talk. And those that are right, and all they have to do is correct me, they never seem willing to. And it doesn't matter which conspiracy we're talking about. It's always the same response. But at the end of the day, all those other conspiracies are just distractions. It really does work that way. If you're spending your energy on chemtrails and trying to convince people that there are chemtrails and all that other stuff, and you know, hey, look up and see that what you would normally have to go to an air show to see, which is planes leaving streaks across the sky. But now you can see it's happening right in front of you. And if they don't see it, huh? I put that in our garbage because it was on our lawn. Because it fell. But you I forgot what I was saying. Fucking live videos, man. I find it so interesting that I can't, I don't know how many people have viewed this video so far. But not one person is like, dude, you're wrong. You're getting this wrong. You're misconstruing this. You've got wrong information about that. Like, you guys ever seen these things before? Look how fucking gross. They just destroy the tree. They're so bad. Oh, those little worms inside, those caterpillars inside. They're horrible. I hate these fucking things. But anyway, that's, I get sick of doing this and talking to no one because I'm not looking for people to tell me what I'm right about. I'm looking for people to disagree with me. It's not interesting to have a bunch of people sitting here telling me, oh, yep, you're right, yep, you're right. I want to hear what you think. How many of you know that it could be as much as, it's either in like March or April or something like that of 2023 or 2022, I can't remember. But Israel bought 42,000 slaves, supervised laborers, slaves from India. 38,000 earmarked for construction jobs. The other 4,000 were to do elderly care jobs. The two just horrible jobs in Israel that the Palestinians are due at the time, currently did at the time. 42,000 people. It just so happens that this genocide that we're experiencing, or they're experiencing, is getting close to that 42,000 dead mark. And it's not because Israel has this surplus of jobs that they need, 42,000 extra construction jobs they needed filled. It's because this has been a plan for quite some time now. There's no disruption to Israeli way of life because it's not like the Israelis work. It's not like the Jews work. They get their government check from us. The shit jobs, the construction jobs, the elderly, even the Jews don't want to take care of their own elderly because they're just so mean and awful. Did you know that the Palestinians who work for next to nothing and have to go through checkpoints coming in and out of Israel each day, like humiliating, violating checkpoints, in order to even have the job in Israel, they have to have a permit that basically costs them about half of their wages each month. So about half of the month they spend working to give the money back to Israel, just so they're allowed to work to do those shitty jobs to begin with. So they can build all the Israeli mansions. The settlements that you keep hearing about, they're mansions. They build these people compounds, big, large areas, big, large plots of land with a big, large house on it that's given to them just for being Jewish. Just after the unprovoked Russian invasion of Ukraine, well, actually, no, just before it. So about 3 weeks before the unprovoked, super surprise, nobody knew what was happening, invasion of Ukraine by Russia, Israel had 3 large, passenger jets, the 747s or whatever the fuck they are, in a constant route from Ukraine to Israel, bringing refugees, bringing people, bringing Jews from Kiev to Israel. You don't hear about them struggling with a homeless population or anything. As a matter of fact, there were all these settlements that had been built and are being built that had to be filled up. So all of those people that got brought over here that were willing to leave their old lives behind and all that for no real apparent reason, there was no threat or anything, they moved to Israel and got given a mansion. That must have been a hard choice. Do you ever wonder why the U.S. gives a shit about Ukraine, but especially Kiev, so much? Ever wonder that? What does Ukraine produce? When we were told that our gas prices and our food prices went up because of the Russia-Ukraine invasion, that's based on what? What the fuck do we get from fucking Ukraine? Especially Ukraine? It's nothing. The reason we give a shit about Ukraine is because Kiev especially has one of the highest, had one of the highest concentrations of Jews in the region. It's Jews. That's why. That's what it's all about. Protecting the Jews. Protecting the Jews and their Semitism, their supremacy. It's disgusting, man. And go ahead, tell me what I'm wrong about. Tell me how I'm wrong about Kiev being full of Jews. Come on, tell me. What's funny is so many of you have an opinion on these things, but you don't even know why you have an opinion. You have an opinion that was given to you. It's not even your opinion. It's just what was given to you. And you don't even know why you think that way. Putin is so bad. Putin is so bad. Putin does what Putin is told. It's so funny. Putin falls into that same stereotype that the Hitler, the Stalin, all these little bitty guys that are kind of effeminate, that go to great lengths to show how they're not effeminate, and they somehow convince an entire country to follow them. Like, it's ridiculous how stupid it all is. Just like how we always hear that somebody is going to be the next Hitler, when as far as, dictator, killer, whatever you want to call them, genocide people go, Hitler's at the bottom of the list. Stalin killed roughly 25 million Christians. It was Stalin and the Marx Bolshevik Jews. They were Jews. The Jews in Russia killed Christians like it was going out of fucking style at roughly the same time that Hitler was supposedly killing Jews. You have Leopold, who is Time Magazine 1937 Man of the Year and still is. Hitler was 1938 Time Magazine Man of the Year, but that got changed. But Leopold killed 50 million Africans. 50 million Africans. You never even hear about him. Mao supposedly killed 100 million of his own people. And yet, whenever somebody is doing something bad, they're not the next Mao. It's always the next Hitler, the next Hitler, the next, because Jew lives are so much more valuable than anything else. And the thing is, 6 million, it wasn't even close to 6 million. There weren't even 6 million Jews in Europe at the time. There were roughly 3 million Jews in Europe at the time, and most of them escaped here. There's literally no proof that 6 million Jews, anything. The whole Holocaust thing is a bullshit lie. You know how you know? Because nobody was talking about it when it was happening. The narrative came out after the fact. Oh, well, once the Allies came in, then they suddenly realized that 6 million Jews had been here. How? You telling me prior to that, nobody was reporting their missing Jewish friends, family? You know what the best part is about that one? The best part about that whole thing is that although Jews do have a look, a lot of them do, there are a lot that don't. So the narrative goes, the Jews were told they had to wear armbands and little badges to identify them as Jews so they could be singled out. And because nobody knew the Holocaust was happening, the dumb Jews just kept fucking wearing the armbands, I guess. Do you understand how stupid that is? So you're saying if you just took the armband off and pretended you weren't Jewish just to get out of being killed, that would have somehow been disgraceful or some bullshit? If you came up to me with a gun and you were like, tell me you believe in God, you swear your allegiance to God, and you'll be a Christian till the day you die, from now on or I'll kill you. Okay, Jesus, Mary, Holy, and Joseph, let's do it. I'm a Christian. I think God's awesome. I'm going to say whatever I can to not be a part of genocide, especially when it comes to train rides and work camps. They were work camps. They weren't concentration camps. And you know the best part is we had them. The United States had internment camps for the Japanese. We called them internment camps, but they were the same thing. If you're going to build death camps, why would you heat them? Why would you have electricity to them? Why would you have bathrooms? Why would they have their own monetary system? Why would they have their own soccer teams? Why would they have plays, auditory, a group that did plays and shit like that? Why would they be allowed to have all that if they're just supposed to be being killed? Stop moving it. You stop moving it.
It's about the light.
It is, but you keep moving it.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh.
The Red Cross was stationed throughout the work camps the whole time. No one in the Red Cross saw anything close to a genocide happening. As a matter of fact, they say most of the people that died in the camps were because the Allies bombed all the supply lines and they starved to death. That's why they were all so skinny by the end, because they starved to death. But I challenge you. Anybody from here on out. This is going to be. I'm gonna give you this burden. Okay, everybody watching. I'm gonna ruin your life right now. Ready? From now on, anytime you're shown any old concentration camp footage or just anything in general, Don't watch what you're supposed to watch. Don't look at what you're supposed to look at. Look at the background. The background is always really, really telling. I saw this, there's this one famous video of like some Jews being released from one of the camps. And always pay attention to the details, right? These Jews that were supposedly in these horrible camps where they didn't have access to good stuff and blah, blah. They're not skinny, just like the hostages now. They're not skinny. They're not all gaunt from being starved. They're not all marked up from being abused. They have a bunch of really baggy clothing on and they're walking all slow. And the thing is too, every time you see one of those liberation videos, the people look sad. They're not happy to be being liberated, they're sad. But always look in the background and you'll see there's nothing happening in the background. How do you have a whole camp full of activities and there's nothing going on in the background? Nobody else is being liberated, nobody's being moved around. One of the things they do too, news does it to this day, when they want you to think there's a lot more people than there, then the camera footage will be like this angle, right? So you can see me, the people behind me, the people behind them, and then it just sort of blends into a blur. When there really is a lot of people, they'll come at you like this, so you can see just how many people are there. And whenever you see the Holocaust stuff, it's always this view. Because exaggerating how many people are there. And for all of you that might think, you know, I shouldn't say these things, my family, my grandfather, supposedly a concentration camp survivor. I personally think my family is Project Paperclip, Operation Paperclip. But the narrative is that my Polish grandfather was in a concentration camp and was you know, scheduled to be sent to Auschwitz within the next. Broly, get back in the house. What are you doing, stupid? Get in the house. Go. Go! How do you keep letting him out? Go!
Pushes past me.
Well, then you need help coming out of the door, I guess. The World Census Report was taken, it's taken every year. The World Census Report said that prior to the war, there were 15 million Jews worldwide. During the war, there were 16 to 17 million Jews worldwide. And after the war, there were 18 million Jews worldwide. There is no account of 16 million, or 6 million being lost. It's just not real. Their own numbers say it. They control the World Census Report. They control the Red Cross reports. None of it's real. So this is the conundrum, right? I could sit here and keep trying to fix the world, which that's exactly what I'm doing. Or I could go throw the football with my kids. Now, it all hurts. It's all, I pay for it all. I really do. And for those that have been following me for years, you know, but for those of you who don't, you don't. But this, neck, back, all that stuff, it hurts. But the way I see it, I've got about 3, maybe 4. So I need to take advantage of it, even if it hurts, even if I pay for it. It is what it is. If you guys were talking and telling me what I'm wrong about, but apparently there are 9 people watching at this moment, and not one person likes the video, not one person has a comment, not one person has an opinion. It's all just watchers, I guess. I'll be here again tomorrow, watchers. Hopefully we can get ourselves to the point where you guys feel as comfortable and as confident as I am in saying the truth. It's just truth, man. If you're bothered by truth, then you have the problem, not me. We have no allegiances to Jews, to Israel, to any of that shit. And if you're foolish enough to be a Christian who thinks your God's chosen people are a completely different religion, I don't know how to wake you up. I don't know what to say to wake you up. It's obviously a bullshit control scheme when the main character is a Jew and the bad guys are all Jews, but you're not supposed to talk about it like that, and you're supposed to be a Christian. It's bullshit. It's nonsense. So, as always, pedophiles, kill yourself. Everybody else, oh yeah, don't forget to go get your free download. www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com. It's music, and it's free. And it's music that actually says something that's about these things instead of bitches and hoes and niggas shooting niggas, shooting, killing bitches, niggas. Do drugs, be the worst you can be. No, it's not like that. And we don't make truther music. We make good music that happens to tell the truth. So again, www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com. The link will be in the description. Y'all come back now, you hear? And again, pedophiles, kill yourself.